Here is the olive Klinkhammer. Start with some of this olive thread. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you've seen that for a wing or a post, I put them on first. I sometimes put them on second. Just depends on how my mood is. Right now, we're going to put this one on first. I wrap around the material first to try to hold it on top of the hook. Then I wrap to hold it to the hook. Just going to check to see where it's at on the hook a little bit. Want to leave enough room to tie off the fly in the front. And now a few wraps to hold it down. Center that back on the top a little bit more. A couple of wraps in the back there. Now we'll go back to the front of the post material and build that barrier to help keep it upright. Our dubbing in a few minutes will help us with that too. Now we're going to come back here to the back end of the hook. And we're going to tie in this gold flash material. This will be the ribbing on the body. Whoops, dropped it there. And next up, we're going to take the olive dubbing material and put that here. Wet my fingers a little bit, twist that on. Shouldn't need too much. We'll try with that first. I'm going to trim this gold just so it's a little bit more manageable to wrap as our ribbing here. Slipped out, so we get to do this again now. And cut off the excess. Next up, we're going to take our hackle feather. We're going to pull off the last few fibers of it just to get the stem exposed. And get that tied in here. Now we're going to take this dubbing. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to work with than the last stuff, but we'll get it to work here. So again, you're going to want to get your fingers wet for this stuff because it's just going to be a little bit easier, especially with this. Get that twisted on there real good. We're going to do a wrap behind the post, and we're going to wrap it in front of the post. That'll help that post stay up a little bit. And now we got a little extra, so we're going to try to pull that off. We might have to snip it here in a minute too if we can't get it to pull off. A couple of more wraps right by the eye of the hook. And now we bring our hackle feather around the post and tie that off. Let's go one more time. Hang on. Just like that gold floss, we get to do this one again. Try to manage it a little bit better this time. I may have crowded the eye of the hook a little bit more than I want to. Looks like we got it there. Cut off the extra hackle. Come in with the whip finisher. And you can see how the eye of the hook was crowded a little bit right there. Cut off the thread. And then depending on how high you want the post, you can come back in here. Let me grab my other scissors. They're a little bit better for this material. You can come back in here and trim it to length. That's the Olive Klinkhammer.